So you know what is the purpose of looping, right? So whenever we are having some kind of suppose if I want to print 1 to 100 or like 100 to 200 or 50 to 40, like 40 to 50 or 60 to 70, like that, whenever we want to go with those kind of loopings, right? Say for example, in such cases, we'll have to use the looping statements, right? In order to simplify your programming, right?
Yeah.
So now if I want to go with, suppose if I want to print 1 to 10, so or 1 to 5, print values from 1 to 5. So initially what we'll have to do, so manually how to do, basically you have to go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that you are going to update in the notebook or wherever we want, right? But in Java, how are we going to print these values? So what all are required? So initially mean uh, i- these all are nothing but the iteratives, okay, iterating. So that means that we will have a looping conditions, okay, for loop we are having, initially you have to initialize the value, then you have the condition, then you have update, okay. See, this is nothing but initialize. What do you mean by initialize? You will have to declare the value, right? You have to initialize the value from where to initialize the value. And condition means this condition should satisfy this initialization value, right? Update means increment and decrement. Okay. So now here how to go with this approach. Say here I am going to print 1 to 5. So in this case, what is the initialization value for int
1.
I is equal to either 0 or 1, 0, assume. So 0 is the initialization value. Now condition is what? I less than or equal to 5. Then we have increment and decrement operator, plus plus, I plus plus, okay. So this is the condition. So here you are going to use the statement, right? System dot out dot println I. So here basically what it does, how this loop is going to execute basically. See, suppose if I will print this value, initially it will print I value, right?
Yeah, it's 0. Okay.
Yeah, so 0 because here I less than or equal to 5, right? So first this is the initialization 0. Then I less than or equal to 5. That means that it will check initially is 0. Okay. Then whether this I is less than or equal to 5 or not. If it is less than 5, then it will go to this operation I plus plus. That means it will print 1, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Again, then now this 1 is less than or equal to 5 or not? 1. Less than or equal to 5 only, right? I value.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it is less than or equal to 5, again it will print the I plus plus. That means it will print 2, right?
Yeah.
Again it will check whether this 2 is less than or equal to 5 or not. If it is less than or equal to 5, then it will increment another 1 plus 1. That means it is 3, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, whether this 3 is less than or equal to 5 or not.
Less than 5.
Then it will perform the increment operation. Then it will becomes 4, right? So now whether this 4 is less than or equal to 5, right?
Yeah.
So
Less
then,
than equal.
yeah, so it will perform operation 5, right? Now whether this 5 is less than or equal to 5 or not, this condition is satisfying, right?
Yeah.
Because less than or equal to, so it will equal also. So that means if it is less than or equal to 5, then it will perform the increment operation. That means it will print the 6 value, right?
Yeah. It
Now,
will not print. It is less.
no, this I is less than or equal to 5, right?
Okay.
I less than or equal to 5. That means this 5 is less than or equal to 5, right? Equal to.
Equal to 5. Yeah.
Uh,
6
then
it will not print, no?
then it will perform the increment operation.
Okay.
Okay, you have to check only this condition, whether I is less than or equal to 5 or not. So now this 5 is equal, right?
Yeah.
That's why it is going to perform the operation. Okay. Now come to the this sixth option. So this 6 is less than or equal to 5 or not.
It is not satisfying condition.
It is not satisfying the condition because this 6 is not beyond the 5, greater than 5. That's why here your program going to be terminated. That means it will exit from the loop. Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
till up to that condition satisfaction, it will print the values. Okay, so see here, system 0 to 5, right? Okay, so here this 6 is not printed. I less than or equal to 5, right? So that means that that I is not printed. Only it will print up to this 5. I equal to 6, I equal to 0. That means that it prints only the 5, right? It initializes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I is 6 is not satisfying. That's why this value is not printed. Maybe I thought this is also going to print, but here itself that loop is going to terminate. Suppose if I'll use here I less than or equal to 10, then if I'll use here as 5, then it will print from 5 to 10.
5 to 10.
Yeah, okay. So this is how this is going to be executed. Similarly, if we want 100 also, it will execute. So whatever the loop we want, it will execute. Okay, so up to till up to those 100 values. Okay, so this is nothing but the for loop condition. So whenever we are going to use any kind of length method or some kind of things, then we can use the for loop. Okay,
Okay.
so now we will see that while loop. So what is the purpose of while loop? So this is also a similar kind of looping statement only. So while loop, what we will have here, suppose we have one here, while initially we will have to declare the int x is equal to 10, while here we can use the condition, okay, like x is greater than 20, okay. Then here we can use the I plus plus. Then we can use system dot out dot println x, or you can use x here also, x plus plus. Okay, so now what is going to happen here? Because here in this condition the loop will check the condition at least, because here while loop, right, x is greater than 20. If this condition satisfies, then only your program is going to execute. Otherwise your program is going to terminate. Okay.
Okay. It is also like condition only.
Yeah,
While we
this
work.
is condition only. This is condition while, and here this looping condition. Here it is going to, this is the statement, right? This is statement, increment and decrement. This is statement. So this is condition only. So now if x is greater than 20, then only it is going to perform the increment operator. Then it will print the value x. So now here x is 10 and x is greater than 20. Then this is not satisfied, right? Because x is 10 and x is greater than 20. Okay, so in this case, this is not going to be execute. It will simply log out. That's it. That means it will exit the loop. That's it. Okay, we will do. So now I'm just here. I'm not going to print any value. So now you can see. See, nothing is printed right here.
Yeah.
Because why? This condition is not satisfied. So that's why
Yes.
whenever you go with while loop, that condition will check if it is satisfies, then only it is going to perform the looping. Suppose if I'll use here as, say, if I use x is equal to 0, then x is, if x is less than 20, then it will print the values. Okay. From thereafter, it will incremental by 1, it will print the value. That means that initial value would be 10.
Mm.
Because that condition is satisfying, right? I plus plus. Okay. This one is x is 10. And if this condition is satisfied, if x is greater than 20, then it will increment. So 10 plus 1, 11. Then again 11. That 11 is x less than 20. So hence it is going to increment. Similarly, when you go with 19 also, it will get 19 plus 1, 20. X is greater than 20. Okay, so this is how it is going to print the values while using while loop. So we have one more loop, do while. So basically in interviews also sometimes you may get a question like what is the difference between while loop and do while. So here while first checks the condition, then it will execute the statement. Okay, here first checks the state condition, then it will perform the action. Perform action. Okay. Because if it is greater than or less than, if x is less than 20, then only your operation is going to be performed. Otherwise, it won't perform action. Okay. Similarly, if we have do while, right? So do means what? Do first do, then check. That means at least once your code is going to execute. Similarly, the same operation only, if I take same operation, then how I can able to write? Okay, so similarly here also I will declare int I is equal to 10. Okay, then I am going to use the do while. So do, that means do once. Here I am going to use system dot out dot println I. Okay, so here I am going to use I plus plus. Then we can use the while I. That means here we can use the condition I less than 20. Okay. Okay, so now what is the difference here? Here, first it will execute irrespective of the condition. Here, condition won't satisfy. Okay, that means we are instructing that Java to execute at least once, even though the condition is not satisfied. Say here, if it is I less than 20, I greater than 20, that means that this condition won't satisfy, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, even though the condition is not satisfied, that program will execute at least once. So that means it will print 11. Okay, see this one, right? 10. This is for top.
It's printing at last.
Uh, now this is first while condition. Then I will comment this. Now if we can run it, right, it will print only the do while. See, at least once it is going to print, but whereas in while loop, this won't execute, right? Because here it will check the condition first, then it will perform the operation. Whereas in the do while, it will execute first, then it will perform the action. You got it right?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, so this
When we will be using do while in real time situation?
normally I think in real time do while most of the times we are not going to use. We will use while opera while because whenever we are iterating the values, we are using the LTR. We have one method is there as next. So in that situations we can use that while or for because do while it is rare. We are not much concentrating
Okay.
on this condition. Okay. So now with the help of this, we are going to work some real time like in a WebDriver, right? So how we can able to work on that. So just see in real time what we are saving, right? Say for example, I have this option. So here I have the drop down, right? I want to identify all these values. Okay. So how to identify all these values? I want to first identify the web element, then I need to write. So similarly, I'm having one more option called as, so we have the here values are there, city values drop down. I want to get all these values. Say for example, I need to select Sridi or Kolkata or Gujarat or Srinagar. Then how are we going to perform the drop down? Basically, you can use Mumbai. Normally, you can select the by with the help of selecting, you can able to select. But through automation, how are we going to instruct? These values should be selected, right? So
Yeah.
this is also we have multi-select. Suppose if I choose manually, I can select by default here multi-select and I can deselect. I can select. I can I can deselect also. Okay. So I can select and I can deselect. Right. This is multi-select. Similarly here also you can perform operations whatever the option you want. You can change it accordingly. Right. But
Yes, sir.
through automation, how are we going to perform these kind of operations? So this, what all are the options we have here? This we can store under the first, we have three methods are there. So first one is, um, so we have visible by text, visible by text, visible by value, visible by index. What is meant by index? Index means what?
It's a file. Like every value, like every memory space.
Yeah, no, first position we can call it as a zeroth index, right?
Yeah.
Suppose we have some elements are there here. So in this first one, this is nothing but a zeroth index. It starts from zeroth index, then first index. Okay, similarly, this is second, right? And then this is third. This is fourth index, right? So similarly, even drop down also the first index. So that means if you want to have this zeroth index, then you can use the, so here Chennai is the, Tirupati is the first value, right? So that means that this is states under the zeroth index. Okay. So we have other options also. Select by value, select by visual index, select by text means you can use the exact text like Chennai, Tirupati, whatever you want. And you have these indexes and value. So these all are the values we have right here. You can see this value, right? Value is equal to 1. This returns as a string, right? So if we
Yeah.
want to have Gujarat, then yeah, based on the value, select by value, then you have to give the 10 over there. Okay. Similarly, which value you are giving, that text it is going to print. Similarly, if you want to go with visible by text, then you can use tin factory or Martel, whatever you want, you can use the these options. Okay. So now we are going to do this, how to identify that in drop downs. So for that, what we have to do initially? So you are clear, right? These three like for loop, while loop, and do while.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I will see that we will create one class, select class. So
These are looping statements. Over things, no?
no, this is not a looping statement. That these three are the loop.
Those last three. Okay.
Hmm?
These three are looping statements. Okay.
Correct, correct. Yeah. No, why this? Okay, so I will create one class here. So here, using drop down. So if I want to go with drop down, then I need to, first of all, we have to write the script for that, right? So WebDriver driver is equal to new Firefox driver. Okay. So now we can use the driver dot manage dot window dot maximizing the browser. Window dot, we have maximize. Then we have implicit wait also. Driver dot manage dot the timeouts method. We have one timeouts method. Under the timeouts method, we will have the implicit wait. Okay, duration dot duration of seconds. So I can use 20. Then I can use that. Okay, driver dot manage. So now here, first of all, I have to use this URL, right? I need to get the URL, right? First of all.
Yeah.
So
Driver dot get
driver
URL.
dot which method we are going to use, get method, right?
Get URL. Get method.
Get string URL. So here in the double quotes, I need to pass the URL. So I will use this as a URL. This is basically our site, so we can use that real that also. This is we have stored under the local driver. Mm. Okay, so now we are going to use driver.get, right? So once we identify we are launching the application. Once launch the application, we will have to identify the element, right? First of all, you need to
Yeah.
identify the element, right? In order to get this, you need to identify the city element, right? So now I can identify this, inspect. So this is ID we have, right? So I
ID.
can use the ID here directly. So here driver dot find element by dot
By
ID.
ID.
So in double quotes, we can paste the value here. Okay. So now this returns as a web element, right? So I can store this as a web element. Web element city is equal to, I need to import this web element. Okay. So now these all options are present under the city, right? Under this city only we have all the options,
Yeah.
right? Multiple options, right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
under the city element, we have all these elements, multiple web elements, right? So
Yes, yes.
what we need to do, we
Have
have
to
a
click.
select class. Huh?
We don't have to click to open the drop down options. We
That is
need to
what
click
that is
it.
what I am coming. So you no need to click there. Okay. So these all are the web elements, right?
Yeah.
See, under that city, you have web element, right? Under this web element, city is a web element. Under that, you have the multiple elements are there. Okay. So here we have a concept called as a constructor. That means that select class, we have the constructor. So select class, select dd is equal to new select. And we are going to pass the variable as city. So we need to use city. So we have to import the select arg. So this is nothing but a constructor. So under this dd, under this select class method, we have some default methods are there. Which all are we have discussed? dd dot select by visible test, select by index, right? So if I will use here one, then I am going to get the index one, right? So whichever the value it is there, it is going to highlight that. See, let's run it and just check it out. So it is selecting Chennai or not.
Yes, sir.
That is the position one, right? Chennai is the first index, right? In the drop
Yeah.
down. Tirupati is the 0th index. Chennai is
Zero.
first index. Mumbai is second index, like that. Okay, suppose if I use any index value as 5, then it will print accordingly that particular value. So if you want to see some thread dot sleep, 1000 milliseconds. Okay. So now if I'll run it, whichever the value present under that fifth index, it is going to store. It will print. What happened? In fact, is selected, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the single select drop down. Similarly, we have this is one method, select by index. Similarly, we have the value dd dot select by text, visible text. That means that whatever you are going to visible text, that means that whatever the text it is visible to you, this one, say Kolkata, or Tin Factory, or Shirdi. Suppose if I use this Shirdi, this is a visible text. That is what I am giving here. Visible text. Okay. Now I can use the same. I can take some example. See, this is the visible text. Now it will, once it will select that index 5 value, then it will wait for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and it will print the Shirdi, or it will select Shirdi. Okay, you
Yeah.
observe, right? So this
Yes,
is
yes.
how it is going to be. This is by using visible text. Similarly, we have one more method called dd dot select by value. So whatever the values we have observed right here, these are the values, right? 1, 2, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right?
In every website, they will do a drop down option. The values will have like this: value is equal to 1,
Yes,
like that.
yes. Yeah, this is
Okay.
our own, how the developer is going to write this. Maybe they may write it as a value is equal to Tirupati also sometimes. Value is equal to Chennai. So it depends on the developer. Okay. See,
Okay.
now we have gone through this remove, right? Let's see here how the values are they printed. If you go for inspect option, how they are going to treat this. See here, this is the name country, right? Now you
Yes, sir.
can see here, select value equal to text they have given. So this is
Yeah.
purely depends on the developer, how they coded. Okay. So,
Okay.
but ultimately that is going to be a string variable. That's why we are going to store it under a string. You got it right?
Yes, sir.
This we can say, we can save because this is our values, right? Say now I am just simply going here where we have, see now also I can make that changes. See, we have a developer, right? We have a so what I can do here, we can just simply here, I will make the changes here. Here rather than value, I can use here as a TPT. Similarly for 2, I will go with CHE, Chennai. Like this, it depends on the developer how they coded. Okay.
Okay.
So now if I'll run it, if I just simply go and change it, say here, if I'll save this, see now these values are reflecting, right? TPT Chennai Mumbai. Now I want to display Mumbai based on the value. So in that case, what I have to do, I need to select this mum, right? So I need to select that mum and then I need to select by value here. I can use the mum here. Okay. Up to here, you are clear? These values.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
See, now it will go and see, observe carefully. After Tin Factory, it will go to Shirdi, then it will back to Mumbai, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
this
Yeah.
is how we are going to select it. Okay. So similarly, this is now my intention is I want to print the values in the console output. Okay. Say for example, if I want to deselect by value or anything, then what I have to do, I need to go with the for loop condition here. Okay. So how we can able to write? We have method called dd.getOptions. That means which all are the options present under the drop down. These all are the options. So in order to get that, we have a method called under this select class, right? dd.getOptions. Get options. So this is, and this returns as a, what does it returns? Select class, list of web element, right?
List of available. Yeah.
Yeah, so it will return list of web element. So now what I will do, I will store that under a list of web element. Web element. Okay. So here you can use any like reference also. Say for example, we can say op options is equal to, okay. dd dot get options, right? So we will have to import the list. What is the purpose of list?
It
What is
will
list
have the
content?
idea of all the elements present in
Hmm.
that web page.
Correct. List is nothing but an interface, right? List
Yes,
is
yes.
interface or not?
Yes, yes, correct.
Okay, now under that interface, we have a methods. So now what I have to do? Now we use it here dd dot get options. That means that which all are the options present under the city, that particular web element. We are going to extract all those options, right? So once we done that, then what we will have to do? How to iterate those values? We will have to use the for loop here. For int I is equal to 0, then I less than or equal to 5. That means that your values under the options, how many values are there? So that is what it is going to treat it. Okay, so now we have here. So now I less than or equal to 5 we have created. So now this is going to be iterate the values, right? System dot out dot println. Okay, so I. So now what is going to happen? Up to 5 values it is going to print, right? But our intention is to get the text of those values, right?
Yes, yes.
So here we are hard coding the value. We are hard coding this, but we should not hard code this size, because in this get options, how many values are present in the drop down, we are not sure. Maybe today we have 10 options, tomorrow there might be 15 options, or tomorrow they might be having 3 to 4 only, right? These values are going to change dynamically. So in that case, how we can go with 5 options? So we should not go with 5, right?
Yes, sir.
So in that case, what we need to do, we will have to use the declare one variable. Okay, so we can use int k is equal to, in this options we have, right? In this options, under the get options, total how much size is there. So that is what we are going to do now. So here int k is equal to options dot size. We have the size method. This will returns as a int. So we are just going to use this method. So now rather than hard coding this 5, we are just going to simply make it as a k. So tomorrow, even if you can make n number of elements or if you can add it, it doesn't matter. Okay, you got it right.
Yes, sir.
So now what we'll have to do, now we need to, so for
Print
this
the list.
we need to print I value. Okay. So now we have initialized here and we are going to print this value. So now how to print that value? So now we found out all the size. Okay. Then now we have it